seconds
Spike
left.
dropped down, isolated, seconds remaining, forced to stick it away. Tex has to defend, faced
Player standing.
by just too damn much of the odds. Still is going to be Swarm jumping, peeking, tracking. Oh, the right clicks in hand. There were chances. Definitely so. King made a decent go of things, but in the end, steady hand and steady aim by Trent.
I pointed out that Leaf only had 2 targets that he could one-tap there. And Demon 1 on the entry, 150 health. He took chip damage going in.
Yeah.
I pointed out that Leaf only had 2 targets. Tap there. And Demon 1 on the entry, 150 health. He took chip damage going in. I pointed out that Leaf only had 2 targets. Tap there. And Demon 1 on the entry, 150 health. He took chip damage going in. I pointed out that Leaf only had 2 targets. Tap there. And Demon 1 on the had their opportunity, I think, to deal some serious damage and get back into this game. Drag the gap down to only 4, get some big ultimates online. If they'd been able to convert that round, if the post-plant aggression had worked, maybe we'd have a different game on our hands. But as it is, G2, they continue that dominance, and Itapad is forced to interject his thoughts again. I'm looking at the economy of LEV, and they could scrape a bye together. It would not be pretty. Thoughts again. They'd have 3 rifles. I'm looking at the economy of LEV, and they could or something to
I
work
think you have
with.
to do it now. You have ults online at least. Silver lining for Lev.
I think this is a last hurrah for Leviathan to get themselves back into the map. It's G2's pick, of course, but
You're going to go down to 12 if you don't buy into it. Like, that's not feasible. I don't think you have to turn it around now.
well, they've got 20 seconds to decide.
It feels like they spent the time out discussing it, but not actually coming to a decision about it. We'll see though.
G2 already out of the timeout, looking to do something themselves. It looks very similar to their pistol round idea, actually.
Yeah.
4-player stack over towards B long, drive them into Leaf. Leaf has the Vice util to be able to play off as well. Basically exactly the same as the pistol, and they're trying to steal initiative.
We'll see it. Clash occurring, I can hear it now, footsteps, and here it is, a brawl to be taken, Stinger in hand, exactly in the range where Jorgamo should be favoured, right? The back's against it, listen, Sheriff's in hands, rifles, but they all fall. And Com deals with it, picks up the rifle, the upgrade, but he needs to win this fight out.
I got the spike.
Just one man, what can he do? Reclaiming that spike, look at the space that's been gained, garnered here. Leaf has vacuumed it all the way up.
He's going to know exactly where Com has gone as well.
Just watching for everything, man, every possibility.
Every time LEV have taken attack timeout, G2 come with some kind of aggressive set play to just rip control of the game away.
Yeah.
LEV are never allowed to run a strategy. You want to take a timeout? Oh, that's cool. We're going to run our game plan, actually. We're going to make sure we're even more in the lead, actually. LEV are not allowed to play. Not allowed to pull a single page out of their pre-planned ideas. Not one. You saw King was completely unaware as well. He's doing a pullback, trying to cross over towards B long. Caught with his pants down.
No room to breathe for Leviathan here. Exploration into mid G2. They're just going to walk about. Rewarded.
And it's so difficult. It's so difficult to react against G2 because you're running into that double sentinel utility.
Quick little bait at the wall. It's one of the first times we've actually seen it from Lev. Demon 1, Dimensional Drift. Has to be some level of value gain from this one here. Spotting out a few of these players. Trying to get the clearance down. Spots the 2 of them, so knows what they're pushed back into. Cosmic Divide splits it all the way up. They see the barrel though. They know exactly where Demon 1 is going to be placed. This is a rapid approach to get themselves back into it. Nightfall scatters, sound cues cut away, all to their own, all offloaded. But this is carnage into the final few moments. How do you contest with this, man?
The rumors of G2 being the best team in Americas, off the back of only one match, may have actually been founded on the truth. I mean, a 13-5 dismissal of what should be another very strong Americas team this year. That is dominance. That is a tier gap that we just witnessed on Pearl. That should not be happening in this league between 2 squads as talented as this. Scary, scary signs. Whether they can keep it up on Fracture, which they first round banned in their first match, we'll have to see, but all signs point towards G2 being on a simply different level.
Just that tier gap that just might be developing, and this time much more visible still. As you said, we're going into Fracture for our next map. G2 did first round ban it in their last game prior, which is interesting, you know, they leave it open.
But also,
fluid with the map pool.
It's a breached Taeho map.
Yeah.
So, considering how good they looked on Lotus, that is worrying for Leviathan as well, I think, despite the fact that they picked it.
Yeah, there were explosive moments across the board here. And listen, if you're an armchair analyst, it was a joy to watch, I think, G2 just a full takeover of the map itself. But it's going to do it for map number 1. Don't go anywhere. We're here with the rest of the series shortly after this.
Contact. So
Okay, Team Supreme, we need you guys on the stage now. Come on, let's go.
let's go.
Tara, let's go.
Tara, tara. Let's go. Oh.
Huh, nature sure is full of wonders. Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
Easily. 1-3. Mastermind!
Es muy buen timing, es muy buen timing. Cómo lo tiene por las espaldas el primero y el segundo.
You're the coach of G2, Josh RT, a suffocating map 1 from your team. And I was just sitting there watching, and I'm astounded by you guys all the time. You know, Josh called it a tier gap. You guys are playing absolutely just, again, suffocating. Do you think that you have been tested by any of the teams you have faced so far, including Leviathan?
I think these are always tough tests. I wouldn't call it a tier gap. I feel like we got away with a few rounds because our players were able to clutch a lot of these moments. I thought we played a little bit sloppy going into those rounds, so there's always something to improve on. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that like my players are able to clutch those things out.
When you say sloppy, what do you mean?
I think we shouldn't have gone to those situations where they had to do a 2v4 or whatever, but so there's moments before that it could have been executed a little bit better.
Best luck on map 2.
Thank you.
You just win 13-5. Your team's having a good time, you're loving it, and then Josh RT walks in the back and says, not good enough. That's honestly what it felt like. But all jokes aside, though, I mean, Josh RT is 100% right. Like his boys, like they clutched up in those moments where they absolutely needed to. But really want to get your thoughts here, Emily, on what you feel like was like one of the glaring issues that we were seeing from Leviathan. Because to Elizabeth's statement, they did feel suffocating. It felt like there was nowhere for Leviathan to go in that game.
Yeah, no, I mean, starting off, just looking at the comps, I was very surprised to see the double Senti pick with the Vise and Chamber, but I mean, when Leaf is playing like that, I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there, and Leaf was absolutely frying. Like, G2, out of the gate, he was just ready for Demon 1. Like, it was a 1v1 in a shocking amount of rounds. Here, he hears that smoke go down because he's in range. This is Leaf's POV. I don't know what he's doing teleporting, but he gets style points. And then here again, they're just waiting for Demon 1 to peek that angle. It was going to be a flash dart combo to try and push down off of that, but it doesn't matter when Demon 1 swings into the angle. I mean, straight up, G2 had 12 first kills on this map compared to 6, and more than half of them look like Leaf.
Yeah, and he was just farming, right? Having a field day out there. I mean, look at this one as well. He got a fadeaway shot with the Deagle like it was absolutely nothing, right? Like he finds these connections that you don't think a normal person should be able to find, but yet Leaf somehow manages to pull that off here, ending that game looking just outstanding. So now, Emily, you got to ask yourself, you're Leviathan in this situation. How the hell do you stop this guy when the ace on your team couldn't stop this man?
I honestly cannot tell you here.
Yeah, right?
It was a really hard map to watch and try and figure out. Yeah, I honestly don't know what I would do in that moment.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, how do you approach this now that you get ready for Fracture? Because that was a little demoralizing.
I don't think, truthfully, that if you play similar style maps, that you can beat this G2 team if you're putting up that type of performance. Because I think on a map like Pearl and frankly on Abyss, you need a duelist player that can take over and win those contact fights. And if you're losing to the Sentinel on the other side, it's not going to happen. So map 3 is still going to be a problem. Good news is they're moving into Fracture. This is Ray's territory. This is possibly Demon 1 not even necessarily on duelist territory for them as well. You remember the Brim Astra days.
Sure.
And I also think Fracture is a map where it's way more about set pieces. You're doing a lot of aggros as a team in early rounds. That's going to allow them to stop taking those just classic walk-up 1v1 fights that he was getting completely owned in on that last
Yeah, but on the opposite side of that, though, you also have a team that's very good at the setup.
Oh, yeah,
very good at the
it's not easy, and it's not a free win, but you maybe have a chance.
Yeah, it is going to be a difficult one without a doubt. But let's go ahead and hear from Coach Itopata as we get ready for map 2.
Here with Itopata at Leviathan. That was a rough map. It was a 13-5. But we're going to your map pick of Fracture. You took a little bit to come out here to talk to me. What were you telling them back there?
I'm just making sure that we kind of don't forget what we're supposed to do on the map, because this on this first map I feel like we were a little bit shocked. I don't know what was the reason, but we just didn't play our game, and that's something that whenever it happens, especially against a team like G2, it's not gonna end well for us. So we need to like wake up and start playing our game again.
So confidence.
Not only confidence, but yeah.
All right, well, best of luck in map 2.
All right, so there you hear from Coach Itopata there. And of course, now, I mean, look, no matter how you slice it, this is going to be a difficult one. We are going to Fracture. This is going to be a big opportunity here for Leviathan to establish themselves in this series here. Ender, you know that they're licking their wounds right now, but there is a possibility to get back here. Who are the players you're going to be leaning on? Not necessarily Demon 1, we were talking about him a little bit, but who are the other players, especially, because you have so many forces on that team?
I mean, honestly, I think it's King. I think, A, he had a lot of rounds where this guy was just absolutely shooting and playing well, but B, I think Fracture is a map that comes down to both attack and defense so much about reading your opponents. There's a lot of these early aggressive plays, and if you have an IGL that can figure out what the other team is trying to do and predict where the enemy team is going to be at round start, you have serious winning chances.
Yeah, and real quick, Emily, I want to get you in on this before we go to a break. Fracture, know you love the map, know you've been excited for this one. What should people be looking out for when we get into the map?
I feel like with Fracture, there are so many different ways you can play the map, and like you said, like if you can get an IGL that can figure out what the other team is doing, like you are set. But the thing is, it's so much harder on a map like Fracture because again, there's 4 different lanes to play from, 4 different areas to do traps or like to poke and prod.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited to see.
Yeah, a lot of mind games. It's going to be excellent, folks. But we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going straight into map 2. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you in a few.
could scrape a bye together, it would not be pretty storm.
That's so much about reading your opponents. There's a lot of these early aggressive plays, and if you have an IGL that can figure out what the other team is trying to do and predict where the enemy team is going to be around start, you have a serious winning chance.
Yeah, and real quick, Emily, I want to get you in on this before we go to a break. Fracture, know you love the map, know you've been excited for this one.
Let's get
what
into
should
it then.
people be looking out for when we get into the map?
I feel like with Fracture, there's so many different...
When I think of Fracture, Josh, listen, there's no duelist plays that really come to mind to define this map for me. It was EG, honestly, with their set plays, and the centerpiece of that was really Common the Sova, which, if we're lucky, might be treated to it again. But it's a very different looking team, and we'll see what the agent select as well. Fracture, it's a new era, right?
2025 meta, Breach, Teho, seems like it would work beautifully. We saw Trent and Jonah P combine on Lotus in the game against Cloud9 wonderfully with this combo. And on the other side, it is the Demon 1 Brimstone. Con comes out on Sova, Natank picking up the Raze. This is what a lot of people are thinking about. This is exactly EG's Fracture composition back when they were the best team in the world on this map. Untouchable, essentially. But it is harkening all the way back to 2023. Playing Killjoy against Teho. Trying to find the value from the Sova on a new team.
Yeah.
A different player on the Raze here. There's a lot of question marks, I think, still over how LEV are going to respond here. And despite the fact that G2 first round banned Fracture in their opening game of 2025, I think this is a massive trap, because you're walking into that combo from Trent and Jonah P. And it just looked immaculate on Lotus.
You're one of the best teams at just comboing at util. Breach and the Teho and a clash onto the north side. I have missed this one. Seen the players already squaring up, fighting each other. Flashes are collecting all sorts of value, potentially! Jorgamo, what is that? What? Up in the sky, and sky high indeed, just removes two of them like an angel of death. And Jonah P can't even be removed, man. Backup and reinforcements arriving to collect up the stragglers right from behind. Still Spike dropped down, and Tex has chances, opportunities. Does he know that Leaf is there? Spike picked up, Spike picked up, he gotta know. Flash up and over, dodging, drifting, the movement is all over the place. It's a team flash, he self-blinds himself, for God's sake.
He flashed both of them so that he could escape, and he's away like I was gonna say a thief in the night, but a thief in broad daylight.
Yeah.
In the full light of the sun.
It's hard to see when you're staring straight at it. Tex drifting around now.
If there is any justice in the world, Tex will win this round.
Turrets catching contact, you're forcing the issue, man! Oh, speeding into it, and it gives Leaf that chance.
He got the wrong read on what was going on. When his turret went off, he thought that Leaf was going for the wraparound.
That's a hell of a gamble to be taken, though.
It is a gamble, but he went for it. Bunny hopping up there, trying to get as fast as he could up into tower. How? I've got to see this again. How is Jorg killing two with the right click there?
That is just unbelievable.
Get the devs in here right now! Immediately!
They're laughing, man. They're laughing.
Well, of course they're laughing.
Jorg right-clicks someone in the air and they're laughing.
We're not showing the tears on the Leviathan side of the stage. The raw fury.
This is supposed to be, in theory, a weaker map for G2. Counter stun. Fault line's good. Salvos, though, dissipating a bit of the action. The threats that were coming their way. There's flashes on flashes, and they're blinding up absolutely everybody. No remorse if you get caught in the crossfire.
And a brutal round. A wild clash. Similar to the pistol round set up, to be honest, from both sides. And yet this time, the gun difference makes all the difference. Leaf hoovering up another ult orb greedily. Gets another one there from the death.
These players are low, Josh.
It is. I mean, it's not quite one body shot for everybody, because by the look of it, Trent has had the regen armor. So he's actually up to beyond a single tap of the Sheriff, but everyone else goes down to a light breeze. Tex has another opportunity to win a big clutch.
They're holding though. Util off of the contact. Valen takes in. They hear the footsteps running around. Molly dropped down, straight to the feet. Drone at the back. Detained, revealed. Salvo's where that came from, son. There is no easy access, Tex. Just forced to run straight into them.
Bullied by Trent. Bullied by the sheer amount of util available. And we'll see how this one ends up playing out. But I really want to keep in mind the idea that this is the 2023 meta, potentially playing against the 2025 meta right now on Fracture. Newer doesn't always mean better. LEV looked... I'm some of these players, for example, Demon 1 and Com, when they played on EG, looked amazing playing this composition.
Let's make them dance.
But we'll have to see how it all plays out. G2 going for a set pinch again on the B side.
Not shaking up anything, are they? Molly up and over the top as well.
Good
Salvos, where that
reaction.
came from, it is. Great reactions. That trying to spray down, though, can't quite control it. This time he is, but he's squeezed up. That is a stun that is picture perfect. Point and click adventure game. Demon 1 forced to answer back. Not for long, though. Immediately sitting straight back into the spectator queue. They'll be waiting, watching, see if his team can even do anything about it. Jogmo, that is your team, Splash.
You can see how high tempo this game has ended up becoming.
There's no room to breathe.
At the same time, the slightest little drop.
Open angles, though. Wanted to take these fights down.
They're trying to create space for Trent to get across.
Yeah.
And they have done it.
Tank out through the back. Earns himself the one, though. Fully aware now of his positioning. Nade up and over the top. Trent back to the wall. And he's safe there.
It sounded like a plant towards Dice. I can understand the tank sending the nade over there, but now he's got a 1v2 to manage.
He's going to try and find these players. Man, there is just... There's no relief, is there?
No, there isn't.
If you're Lev.
It really is suffocating.
You've just been getting battered non-stop.
But this time,
too.
yeah, this time it's the tempo that's suffocating, right? It's the pace of the game. And G2 having so many layers to what they're doing. LEV is currently looking like one of the best players in the world. Absolutely ripping so far. But one of the reasons why he looks so good is because he's so confident. He's running up, running through the smoke at Tree, and trading out his opponents. Never afraid.
Yeah.
Never afraid.
This looks different. Not seeing that B split, the clash over towards Arcade that we're kind of used to at this point. Door opens up just under Shocky.
And that's one of Com's favoured positions to play.
I'm going to hit his drone. Going to make a play off the back of it. Wait a second, fault line. Pushing these players back and away here. That's gone 2, and okay, well, just getting away with murder now, aren't we? Still, Sheriffs knocking and toppling, the heads are rolling. This is what Lev needed. Get themselves straight back into things. Leaf is left alone. Spike dropped down, it's well away from him. He's got to try and reclaim this space. But you've got to think, rifles in the hands, doubled up, it's a high-low setup.
On an off angle as well.
Yeah, good luck breaking this. Leaf would have to almost toggle to see if he can get it done. Hold on.
No more thorns.
Spotting just a shoulder. Receives his kill.
He has the ult.
Knows where the two of them are. Spotted a Killjoy. The tank does have the ult. Showstopper might be necessary, but not offloading it. Not using it. They're not anticipating him at that angle, but just about salvaged in the end.
Lev had to win that. Once they got themselves into a 3v1 scenario, they had to put down Leaf. And it took everything to get there. But the thrifty round off the back of Demon 1 hitting some beautiful Sheriff shots. Finally, the aim god showcasing why we know him for that kind of talent. And the tank cleans things up. A rare bad call there from Valen, choosing to commit into the stack over towards Halls instead of reacting in the opposite direction once he realized there was 3-4 players in that area. Making it look like it's a fast B with that Molotov that lands over towards Heaven. You can see this is already pulling defenders. That molly almost exclusively gets used for fast B execute.
It's just conditioned them. You see the molly firing, just flying overhead. Players moving away from their positions, and now going to be delayed to try and get this util out and over. Showstopper through into spawn, and it just wraps around. Brings Tex down to the grave.
The only player that could have really stopped this. Oh, Com going for a swing. I was going to say, the only player that could have really stopped this was in the tank, because he's also got his Razor online.
I'm going fast, man.
They are pushing.
Yeah, breach ult. Scattering these players around, trying to knock them around like bowling pins. Rocket straight through the door. This is Anarchy in action. And Trent's going to try and lock this one down himself. Steel Garden now overlaid on top. Guns and weaponry still alive and kicking in the hands of a few of these players, but Com is a one-man army. He's taking it over. Hunter's Fury is earned. Now being used to see if they can cleave away into the side. Jorgamo nowhere to stand. And safety, not really an option there for Leaf.
Welcome home, Com. He's back to Fracture, and he looks so comfortable. Had a fantastic game last time we saw him on stage against Furia, winning clutches all over the place, and a very slow start in this match. Couldn't really get online on Pearl. But here, after the tank opened the door, Com, he just barreled through. He's playing on his own in Halls. It's not like he really had a bunch of setup for that. He looked fearless, charging forwards with the Phantom and getting a final third kill there with his Sova ultimate. Beautiful stuff. LEV showcasing that they can match this frantic pace that G2 have set early on.
And I was hoping that was going to be the case. Moving over to Fracture, if you're going to pick it, LEV, it has to be for that reason. We're seeing it made manifest ever so slightly.
Now normally, when Leviathan played this composition back in 2023, Tex's ultimate, the lockdown, would be a game changer. Now, a single ability from Trent, that salvo, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So you have to play around that ability cooldown or wait until Trent's buried 6 feet under before you decide to invest it.
It's around. So plucking these orbs out of the picture. Bit of util used to clear up towards tower as well. Smoke's going to make it awfully difficult. Molly's at the feet on top of it, and there are bodies falling off onto the sides, twisting around 180 degrees. Tex couldn't stand against it. Just being swarmed in these positions. Now Valen going for the plant, debating out all sorts of things. There's a Brimlock used to grant him a bit of space, but no one watching it as the smokes dissipate. In through main, a fight to be taken. If Leaf ends up toppling, could be monumental, and the tank knows it. Trying to drift back into the picture, but as he goes for that reload, Trent is happy to oblige, and there's only one left standing, it's Com. Trying to go for it wide in the face, a satchel to the side, Jogamo barely surviving. There are ults, there are salvos, there's everything to play for again, calling in the air support. Com is pushed back for but a moment, back onto it, salvos now needs to be pulled out. It's a brutal watch, it really is. And the options dwindling away from him to play with. First peak done, time still available, potential there! But no! He knows it intuitively, the timer is ticking and he might not even get out with the gun.
Just escapes with his life.
Oh man.
But a bitter, bitter loss there. Com had to read on what was going on. Played it about as well as he possibly could have done. But these early picks that happened from G2 as they got in through Arcade, through a smoke, it was unwatched for a moment, set Com up in an unwinnable spot. I mean, that round showcases how powerful the Teho utility is in the post plan. The ult, and then the salvo, and then the stun even coming through as well.
It's just checkmate.
Certainly felt like it. That's the kind of round that LEV cannot afford to lose, and that is the kind of round that Josh RT was talking about, where his players are good enough to be able to come up with the goods, even when they're at a disadvantage.
I mean, this is such a different G2 that we're looking at as well, because at the pace that they're playing at.
Yes,
they're so willing to throw just the chaos in the moment and see if they can just make opportunities, make those weaknesses appear that they can potentially just wedge open.
Now, we're talking about it being chaotic, which implies some level of sloppiness, but I actually think the executes are really well planned out. They've got these large molly lineups, they know where all of the util's going, they've got great combo of util to clear out these spaces. But the pace is so fast, and LEV are forced to flood through smokes and create a bit of chaos, that it does end up with the players being forced to make on-the-fly decisions fairly often. We're into round 7. This is where G2 could, if they wanted to, start messing with some of the conditioning as well. We already saw them try to run a fake, where that molly flew through the air, indicating that they were doing a fast hit.
Yeah, pulled the players away, didn't it?
Yeah, they could certainly try something similar now. There is a massive ultimate advantage here to Leviathan. Breach ult, Brim ult, amazing plant denial ultimates to work with. There goes the alarm bot.
Yeah, and this is I mean, I guess, the joy of playing Killjoy on this map in this current era with Tejo's in the game.
Oh, it looks so fun.
All your util getting broken, your ult gone to the signature ability.
And that's one of the reasons you've got to expect Leaf picking the Vice.
Yeah. Seeing that trend drift a lot of teams now. Can't break the Vice wall. Makes it valuable.
Look at this push out over towards the dish side. While G2 are running one of their rare slow rounds here on Fracture. The Tank King taking space.
Oh, no way. Absolutely no chance. Com's trying to get mid-round info with his drone, and they just aftershock him.
Salvo is still online. You can't use the lockdown at the moment.
Tex might want to go for this anyway. Just throw it out, man. He's been holding it in his back pocket for the longest time possible. There's a timing to be taken. Jorgamo trying to go for this one. Plant is down. Salvo's going to be used to try and force this fight. Not for the lockdown. You haven't dealt with that. Brimstone ultimate offline. Leaf still taken away. Two of the players of Leviathan. He claims that space despite the fact that he is detained. Everybody up and top and over into tower. The molly will shut them out. sealed him out of the picture, trying to step up to it, but that is a brave challenge indeed. Demon 1. He's forged in these fires, and he's going to try and make the moves himself! No way!
Demon 1G!
Forged not in those fires, man!
That's unbelievable!
Oh, that is brutal!
You can see what he's going for there. The timing was perfect when he pushed the molly at the beginning to be able to get the fight in tower, but you gotta be aware of your own HP in that situation. I've never seen that before.
Absurd. Absurd. Absurd.
How much damage does Valin output there? So the Demon 1 ends up falling to his own util.
No way.
The Demon 1G. Ruthless.
Back down to the bad buys. I mean, Leviathan are going to be used to it at this point. Felt like they never really were able to scramble together the weaponry in time here. Texto drifting in from the back. He's hoping.
It's desperate.
Yeah, he's hunting, right?
I mean, that one really is desperate. He's just trying to make the play to give his team any kind of opportunity in the round. Lev had an ultimate advantage, now an eco disadvantage. More stuff getting online.
Jorgamo just in time, can't quite hit that spray down for the third player, but he's done enough.
And the problem is, G2 are not even under enough pressure to draw out stuff like the Breach ultimate. Rolling Thunder still available for Jonah P when we head into the next round. And you could absolutely use that as a fake too, because they're going to bite on it. They have to react quickly against the pace that G2 are setting. Yeah, it's looking dominant. And a reminder for everybody at home that this was the map G2 banned against C9. That's why LEV have picked it here when it was left open. And to me, it screamed, this is a trap, because Breach Teho is so strong here.
I mean,
but to see it in action,
it's kind of, they just look different, man.
It's scary.
I think, listen, there's a cut a bit of bail with picking it. How deep can G2's map pool possibly be? They've already looked good on almost every single map that they showcased in that prior series.
Yes.
You have to make assumptions at some point that the map pool's got to run dry.
Well, it doesn't look like it yet.
No. Going to be punished for it. Here it is. Fast. Off the rim. Jorgamo. Oh my god, man. It's a casualty of the friendly fire, but he's still alive and kicking. Up and over the top.
Spike's gone down on the south side, by the way, Brent.
Put the squeeze, though, on either side. Just seeing if they can rip away, tear away any sort of semblance of map control from these players. We're going to be trying to take these fights, overlaying the smokes.
Jorgamo got ult. He got ult.
And here it is, Showstopper in his hands! Up close, but his rifle's doing the work! And Texas sprayed them all down!
Attacker spawn.
1 minute left in the round, by the way, and it's down to that 1v1, just spotting themselves barely a thread to work with. There is no slowing this down.
This is a ridiculous map on Fracture. Lev runs some kind of south side crunch. Breach ult stops G2 from being able to take control over towards tree. Jorgamo caught between two Rolling Thunders, just getting bullied. Watch him bounce up and down there over towards the box. And what a play from Tex, hidden inside the smoke, kind of baiting Demon 1 to get his triple kill. And Leaf, third kill of the round, causing the Valin pop-off. Despite everything, even when Lev get into good scenarios, there's a final hurdle, a final player left for G2 that pushes them over the line.
That's a nice one. Tank, though, quickly accosted onto the position, swinging around here. Tom's still there, he wants to go for a bite of the apple. Push back and away over the aftershock. Demon 1 creeping and crawling off from the side. That raw aim on display for but a moment before he's put in his grave. And across the zip lines, whee! Leaf can be looking to rejoin his team, his teammate.
They have to cross King's sideline.
And they're way open to it. Not anticipating that these players could be there. This is a bit of a weird round, topsy-turvy.
This is one of the rounds, though, that showcases the quality of Leviathan. Oh, and the read on this. They're already clearing arcade. The slower Leaf goes, the more chance. But they're instead going under tunnel.
Are they going to hear that?
No, you can barely hear the zip on this map. If you've got the hearing of a dog...
Do they realize he's got the spike? Why are they triple holding for tunnel?
I mean, I got to assume that they...
Okay, they've got players in through main.
Yeah,
looks like they were overlapped.
Does Leaf have a chance of being able to win this one? It would be absolutely gutting if he did. This is another one of those scenarios on an eco where Lev have got to convert the 3v1.
They got the weapons.
Leaf gave him a run on it last time, though.
He did.
And he's got the Vice ult again. Same kind of situation as before.
I didn't anticipate him to be playing a bit more forwards, honestly. A 1v3.
It is actually a common 1vx spot to play over towards Dish here. And you try to catch one as they go towards site.
Yeah, it is an open plan. That. Swarming together though, pack mentality. Backs to the wall though! And nobody anticipating it, still got and offloaded, and why not? Rip the guns away, King. Forced down to the secondary, sidearms, and sidesteps the bullets.
Another scenario where Leaf almost gets it done, but Lev take the round. 3-7 on the Thrifty, and here's the power of the individuals on Lev. Natank goes for a peek, then Com comes afterwards. Demon One around the back, throwing bodies at the problem, throwing Sheriff headshots at the problem, and eventually getting the job done. They need more of that. 7-5 half, I think, would be, I mean, at this point, the best that Lev can even ask for, but I think would be necessary to get them feeling like they're back in the game.
Plenty of ults as well. Left to be expended here. On the left side of things, deep dart is getting a lot of work done, isn't it? Forcing the ult out nice and early. This is a Hunter's Fury, a Com classic. Dart revealing on, a showstopper to squeeze them from behind.
Cool set play.
It really is.
Very EG-esque.
Trent dropped down to the double digits. Narrowly avoiding and evacuating. He's got that spike in hand and he needs a bit of a bailout from the rest of his team. And G2 themselves looking to go for a bit of exploration. Bullets are raining down onto them, so not going to be getting that plan. It's a minute 10 onto the clock and
Spike's
still,
dropped.
yeah, maintaining that tower control. Leaf regaining it, but creeping up towards the top. He's just spotted, I believe, a leg. Breach, okay, the Brimble pushing him out wide into the open. The tank has really stepped up to that challenge. Jorgamo will do his best. There's only so much one man can do. There's that 4 for Lev.
And a little bit of breathing room here. For the first time in this entire series, it feels like Lev starting to put up a bit of a challenge these last 2 rounds. This one really well executed. Love that play. Recon dart into the stun, into Sova ult, and the Sova ult pushes them into the Raze ult. Lockdown as well once Trent had been killed and the salvo was offline. And for the first time, I think, Natank on his feet. Played that round beautifully. And G2 on an eco. Final round of the half, though. Scraping together a buy with Guardian Stingers. And a slow pace to begin.
Just a jiggle. Going to be hearing the drone at this point, though. Doesn't trigger the fault line. It's being held by King, and you're going to see a play being made themselves. Luckily, quick evacuation and backing out of there.
They're very aware of Leaf trying to come around the other side, but Leaf's going to go for a late backstab. He does not have a good weapon to be able to take this peak.
Very interesting smoke as well, just over to the top of things here. It's split up the site entirely. It's G2's own, and Leaf is just taking pot shots, peeking up and over here. Grimald in through the back, spraying and praying. Sometimes you need a bit of divine intervention.
How has Leaf got 2 with a Stinger in this spot? How has he got 3?
There's no way, man! You're forcing the issue to this degree. Pressure pushed and mounting onto Jonah P. And Trent left alone into it. That is reaction times at work. Salvos in his hand. Peace of mind granted. Opens the door. Playing a bit of mind games. Demon One diffusing, sticking half onto the board. That gives him win cons to play himself out of this one. Knows the shot's fired! And Trent, what is that?
The individual form from Trent in 2025 harkens back to the days that he was utterly dominating on the guard when he first made his approach into the tier 1 scene. I said that Leaf would not have a great weapon to be able to take those fights. And he's got a 3k with a Stinger on his own in Dish, over the top of smokes.
Just an explosive half of Valorant. I have to be bringing in the cost code, guys, see how many booms that was worth. But listen, the second half, it's bound to keep going with more of this pace, because listen, I'm here for it. Listen, we said that LEV needed to potentially get 5 really to stand a chance in this one, but who the hell knows? Listen, it's a new half of Fracture, and we see LEV on their attack side. Might have something cooked up. Listen, a pistol round can change the tide of any fight.
And I think they really need this pistol. I said the same thing on Pearl, and I think they could have found an opportunity to get back into that game had they been able to get their best feet under them. But here it again feels like they need a little spurt of momentum to get them back into this. All 5 players from Leviathan going through Dish.
I mean, brave.
And unusual.
Yeah, and the play just trying to take space out from drop. Smoke's going to be dropped down as well to cut up most of the site. And hello, Satchel play.
Full off-site.
What is the play for this?
They have Aftershock, they have 2 shocks, they have Brim Molly as well. They've got lineups for everything.
Very interesting.
This is a weird round.
And they've just left the tank on the site. Soul utility going to be in the hands of this one, but when you remove the first obstacle that is the tank, they know it's already kicking. Nanoswarm's going to be drifting over. Can they get their heads onto the mollies that are going to be flying
Look at
swiftly
Texas flank.
over the
Look
top?
at Texas flank.
There's another one.
They read it.
Juggernaut with half. They've read the flank, and he's going to pay for his life with it, but he has brought that win con for his team into the pistol. Now the classics in hand. Tap, tap. There they go. Drifting down and away the Aftershock. Just in time. It's narrowly there. Revealed up to the world. Can he even get this one, Trent? Just trying his hardest, man.
Oh, that is beautiful from Leviathan. That is such a cheese round pistol strat.
It's nerdy, isn't it?
That is so funny. The smoke on top site, double blast back into it, knowing that on the pistol round you're not really going to have a hard sight anchor on A. Leaving the tank basically just a die.
That is so cheap.
They have a lineup, Nanoswarm, reflank through spawn. G2 even read that. But not quite anticipating there, Valen, that he was going to get caught by the Aftershock.
It's the type of round that makes you want to install, honestly.
That's a cool one. That is a really cool one from LEV. Reminiscent of what Paper Rex used to do back in like 2023, actually, when they were playing on this map. Really fast execs and huge amounts. I mean, honestly, going back to like 2022 or 21 as well.
You're aging yourself.
Yeah, I know. Does anyone even remember Ben Kai on Paper Rex?
Yeah. That was a while ago.
Yeah, this is LEV's chance at actually getting back into this game. If they've got more ideas like that, more set plays with the ultimates, more of the kind of stuff that EG would have cooked up under Potter in 2023, that Demon 1 and Com could have brought to this team, then there is a chance that they can get back into this game.
The ults on top of it can be massive. Fracture's a map where, listen, they didn't do a pass over and remove some of the orbs that might have been accessible, but it looks like most of them are vacuumed up. Jonah P. Shooting him a little bit of bail in the form of the missiles, but you're going to know where he is. That is just ridiculous stuff. Taking peeks and pot shots now in through the smokes. Dashing away the hopes and dreams of the anchoring players, so LEV will be able to get that plant down.
King halfway to his ultimate. They're not going to have anything massive to work with here for the bonus round. And Com gets a third. They've got decent weaponry though. Vandal, Bulldog, 2 Guardians. It's dangerous. And honestly, I mean, I say that they're not going to have a massive ult to be able to work with, but Natank is 3 away from his ult. It isn't even possible on a map like Fracture that you could go around, gather those up, maybe even get a plant onto him, have something to work with in the post plant. Does LEV have a set strategy? When I was watching them on Haven, they had really good set strats for their bonus, for their follow-up rounds. So what are they working with here? A flash and a recon, making it feel like they're taking tree control.
That's an awkward one to try and peek themselves into, but it was util to supplement. right there behind him, and they hear the footsteps jumping around. Jorgamo wants to try and put the difference maker in against his former teammates, taking a fight straight to them.
Lovely
Kill over the
stuff.
shoulder though. Jonah P happy to take him out, and that's a spike earn as well for their troubles.
It'd be so easy to just go over the rope and pick it up.
Of course.
Surely.
Type of play I would make in ranked.
Com making sure that he gets everything he can out of this round. At least he's going to be able to pick up an ult orb or two. But G2 in firm control of the north side of this map. If Valen gives away a cheap one, I mean, that flash even is giving them such good information.
Wow.
That Valen should be paying attention, waiting for contact here.
Worthless.
And King forced to fight a 1v4, now down to a 1v3.
35 seconds left. Not much of a chance, but listen, stranger things have happened.
Honestly, he could get an ult orb here, he could get a death, and then he's one away from being able to have his Rolling Thunder online. There are ways, even if he doesn't win the clutch here, that he can still come out with a bit of a win.
Dodging the lines of util. Going his way. Flash play and a peek. Trying to swing out and take these fights straight to them. Bit too much to overcome though. Still, like you said, they get a kill.
Kill and a death. He's one away from Rolling Thunder. That's not too bad for LEV. That's something that they can work with. They've also done a bit of damage to G2's eco. But how well controlled was this? I mean, Jorg swinging a millimeter away from being hit by his own team's fault line. But millimeter perfect.
Yeah.
And then jumping around the corner to play Jonah P in for the kill onto Demon 1. Good stuff. Both teams really close to huge ultimates. Probably going to come online at some point in this round. Pay attention especially to the two Breach players. LEV looking like they want to do a fast B split, and only Valen is home.
Very obvious take. A lot of util being expended out towards Arcade. Like you said, Valen is home, but
it's tough.
They're attempting to knock on his door. This ult's now offloaded, pushing him back and away. There's a molly at the feet, not enough damage done prior. The tank just really brute force is the name of the game for him.
They got Armageddon online. Trent, by pushing out through Dish.
He's going to use this one straight into tower. It's a full line as well to accompany, and Com has to contain. He's traded out eventually, but not before he did deal with two of these players, and this is Leviathan. They've made those moves.
Good control on that Arcade push.
Yeah, forcing the play out of G2.
Really nice. I mean, they are back into this game. Barring something ridiculous here in the 1v4 from LEV.
Spike planted.
Which I'm holding my breath because he has been pulling off ridiculous stuff all day.
Yeah,
but they get the trade. And Demon 1 shuts down any danger. 7-9. The gap closed massively here by LEV in the second half.
This is what we wanted to see. Leviathan didn't want to see just two one-sided maps here. If you're going to pick this map, do it for a reason.
Oh, stunned up. What a play by Com, the 2K, on his home map. It's looking good. Now they've properly destroyed the economy for G2. They're going to get up to Raze ult, Sova ult. How many more combos do they have? If you've got a set play, you'll probably want to save it until round 18. This is just about controlling any potential aggression from G2.
It's a flash in the face. Like you said, controlling the aggression, dominating some of these angles. Orb online, so showstopper, just in case it does get dicey.
And it could do here at Dish.
Here's a tap. Yeah, Demon 1 was not anticipating that. That is a fast fault line. They're rapid onto it. Jorgamo, though, just satches his way right into the open sight lines. And I don't know where the danger is. They're like, okay, well, north side of the map, off limits.
I love this protocol. Flush out the lurker that you think is going to be on the other side, but Tex finds the jump on Jonah P. It's slow from LEV. It's controlled. They're trying to minimize those win conditions for G2 here. They don't want to get upset. LEV have finally got a foothold back into this game. I do like the way that King calls in these situations.
Yeah, very disciplined. They don't want to let anything slip. King with a plan 2 gets one step closer. Trent will see if he can put a stop to it. But if anything else, the combo on side. Okay, I mean, listen, just the sour was enough, but what can LEV do? Stinger in hand. Doubled up, high-low. Up against Rifles, LEV would have to be Divine Intervention, I think, to even stand that chance. He's going for it.
But this is not one of those winnable spots.
Peaks.
This is not one of those winnable spots. LEV are now in control of the game. They have that Hunter's Fury, Showstopper to work with. Big ults on the other side, but it's the attacking team on Fracture that tends to control the tempo. Remember what we saw on Pearl? Every time it looked like LEV was gonna come out with something from the playbook, G2 ran a fast round against them and totally disrupted the game plan. Coming out of timeouts, any eco swing round. But in this attack half, too many lanes on the map, I think, for G2 to really be doing that. It looks like they want to do it again, though. Is this control down towards the south side?
It's going to be the fight to be taken. Smokes are propped up.
Not fully, though. Not fully investing that. Not throwing the breach ult in and pushing from halls.
Just poking.
A bit softer, yeah.
In that jump spot, Tex. Going for the peak. Hoping to be rewarded. It's a drone now for the mid-round information.
Body blocked.
Gets it, though. Those are those players occupying out towards A main. That was a big question mark. Now they want to offload it. Okay, breach ult. Here's the go button and an aftershock in your face. Good luck dealing with that. The tank wasn't long for the world.
Oh, Tex had a free kill. Went back for it. Double dipped. Gets rewarded.
Straight up and over as well.
Small comms issue there from Trent. He didn't realize that the wall had been tripped at Dish.
Just waiting for these players to try and contact back into him. Demon 1. Wrap it again.
It's time for Jorgamo to go for the rotate. He's the one with the showstopper. He's the one with the power to shut down an attacking round.
They're going into Leaf, man. He is hard committed into that corner. Not knowing where he's going to be peeked from, and a delayed peek at that. Demon 1 eventually deals with him. Showstopper. The wall of fire and brimstone and fury at your feet. And targets acquired. Valin left into that 1v1 versus Tex. And let's see it happening in real time. 9-9 now, Leviathan.
Tex has come out with the fire when LEV need it. He got them out to an early beginning on Pearl. Not that the rest of the team could really convert, but here, finding those important kills and winning a 1v1 that should have been so difficult. Only 25 seconds were on the clock there. Spike was down in halls. If Valin had not opened himself up to that sightline, certainly G2 had the advantage. I think that's another round that Josh, our team, will not be too happy with how G2 played that one. It's knocked them down onto an eco as well.
It's caution to the wind here for G2. Leviathan past the molly. Drone's going to be paving the way to hopefully a cleared out site. But there is one player lurking off to the side. That timing to be taken. Valin! It's naughty, man. He's getting away with murder there. There's no follow-up.
Yeah, where's the trade? Where's the spam? It feels like LEV should have been able to defend the tank a little better in that spot.
Tex just spotting back of the heads of two of the players. Not able to do any damage, though.
Trent also took the orb in halls, which means he's one away from getting Armageddon. If he does end up getting that ult online, it could be tough here for LEV to get a plant down against Orbital Strike, against Armageddon, Salvos, and King does like to call slow rounds.
I respect the play here.
That's also going to slow him down. The Steel Garden, they're playing for the clock. The clock is the win condition for G2.
They know it.
King's got to recognize that and slightly up the tempo here without making too many errors.
Right, the players are split all across the map right now. 30 seconds remaining roughly into this round to work with. Hunter's Fury trying to clear that way. Oh my god, he's waded right into it. Bit of flash into his face. Can he avoid most of this here? Fault line off into the corner. Salvos seeking to at least defend by a bit of time here for Leaf. Not going to be even using it for that plant denial lockdown.
The Brimlock was used.
Get themselves in. It was indeed, and still sidestepping, tiptoeing into the site. Rifles in the hands of these few players. Chaos needs to be played towards. Pandemonium maybe that can pave the way, but King sticking that plant down and it opens up these fights. Isolated. There's no help in sight. Armageddon now, there is no sidestepping that. And Tex, the momentous task. So damn unfortunate.
How have LEV let that one slip away? All of the tools that I was thinking would be useful for G2 to deny plant. Salvo, it got used to try to help Leaf. Brimstone ult, it got used to try to help Leaf. And yet somehow, Trent pulls out 3 outrageous sheriff shots from halls off the back of the space.
Here it is.
He's under a lot of pressure here. Even misses the stun and still picks out 3 kills to be able to make this round winnable for G2. The G2 players have been marvelous today on an individual level. Leafs still at the top of the scoreboard, still kind of gapping the rest of them, to be honest. But they're taking a timeout here, and I think this is the right play, despite the fact that G2 won that round on the retake.
Yeah, it's queued up probably during the eco.
Yeah, it wasn't clean. it wasn't clean. I think Josh RT can adjust the game plan here. LEV need to continue the momentum that they had prior to that round 19 loss. The way that King called, maybe just slightly too cautious, slightly too safe in that previous round. Not expecting ults to be thrown at them left, right, and center to slow down the progress on A.
Really have to be aware of it though. Stall potential when the time runs down like that. I mean, how many times it feels like since kickoff started across all the regions have we seen time become that factor?
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons for that is we're seeing a lot more of the breach and the Tejo and the Vice.
It just slows the game down.
It does. And partly that's because of the abilities, but partly it's because you're also, you need to get to site quickly. But you don't want to make too many mistakes on the way. You don't want to leave corners unchecked and areas not cleared. But you've always got that idea in the back of your mind, like, we cannot actually run 20-second execs in this meta because there's so much plant denial. It does make it tough. And that's why attacking ultimates like the tank's showstopper can be so important, because you can just blast through an area.
Yeah, it breaks the balance, doesn't it? Normally you'd be slowed down, but it's a big one to work with. Leaf, hyper committed here.
He's got the wall to play off.
Of course, yeah, and it's going to give him that timing. I think the flash is up and over the shoulder too. They walk right past, okay. Lucky.
Retrieving flash.
Good work from Leviathan, not falling into that trap. They all backed off. Survival instincts kicked in. And they got the stun out from Jonah P too. Jonah P's going to be under pressure.
Making moves. Satchel's up and over. He doesn't actually direct his gaze up and around. Spots it though. It's Jonah P lurking off to the side. Won't be able to defend that position. Oh, now you're seeing it. That is a lot of util. Kitchen sink being thrown and chucked over towards Sand. Nade in the hands of Jorgamo just to buy them a bit of space in the breathing room. Down towards Drop. It rebounds the wrong way. Still the gunplay.
How's that happening?
It rains the day. G2. It's a great question, Josh. How is this happening? Shock darts. Are they going to save you here at all? Sticking the defuse all the way. The timing is just off on it. The play is toppled. It's supposed to be that first line of defense so that you can even try and play for the util in the post plant in that spot, in that position, but everyone on LEV just died.
I've got to see that one in the replay. There were some shots hit there. When Tex gets the opener, spamming through a smoke and kills Valin, I've got to think that LEV are in a good spot, especially after Jonah P's already died on site. That's a 5v3. How has it gone so wrong?
Oh, no way.
Great adjustment from Jorgamo.
Bro, these kids are brain dead.
I like that. I like that. Not afraid to dish it out.
No, and honestly, he can talk his shit. He's at the top of the scoreboard looking like one of the best players in the world.
Not escaping out of that. Good tracking from Jorgamo. Plucks the tank straight out of the sky. A lot of util being expended just to try and force G2 back and away here, but they're happy to wait this one out. Giving up control of this one. They want to try and play retake into it. Smokes are fading, and here it is. Okay, fast play. Pushing themselves in through the spawn, but a fault line to respond. And it's beautifully placed. G2 doing enough to slow it down. Least timing is impeccable.
He's always there.
It's a three-piece from behind. Arcade control is his. And Com, not a rifle to work with, just a judge in hand. And we've seen that gun do dirty, dirty things, but not in this spot.
Revealing area.
Planted back and away from him. Valin happily sticks it. Safety in numbers, G2 have got it. Even trying to take this gun away from him, that is brave.
Match point.
But brutal for Leviathan's economy. Prior to the timeout being taken by Josh RT, it felt like LEV was getting back into this game.
Yeah, it really
and then,
did.
Whether because of the adjustments or whether because of the individual plays, and Jorg has had some, Leaf has had some, G2 are starting to create that gap again. Leaf has been amazing on defense sides, not by anchoring, but by pushing, finding the right timings to push out on defense.
It's been unreal.
Knowing that there is no Sentinel, for example, Tex is not watching the flank, or if he is, Leaf is happy to duel him, but more often than not, it's that Leaf is identifying what the state of the game is, realizing that his opponents are going for an all-in execute, and getting rotate timings way earlier than expected. If you watch this guy move around on the minimap, it feels like he has the radar. It feels like he has full information about where everyone is.
It's like slime finding the food in a maize petri dish. He just finds the gaps, man. He finds the food every time.
He does.
He was doing it last year, don't get me wrong. Listen, but not to this level. It's on a different level at this point.
I think it is.
Him playing roles like Vice as well, he's not contained to an area on a Sentinel. He can lurk freely, his util stays up.
And that's
they
the
get that peace of mind.
That's the same with him playing Viper on Lotus too. He's not tethered to an area.
Yeah.
So he's just able to be so free, so roaming around the map in a way that Tex really couldn't as much when he was on defense side. And Leaf's got the in-game IQ to be able to make it work. This is rough for Leviathan. This had to be their map. And when they won 5 rounds almost in a row to start this half, they would have thought they were getting themselves back into things.
One away from a lot of big ultimates. That's information for Leaf. Flashed up still, gets to the safety of tower. Might not be safe itself, though.
Drone coming out through halls, didn't see too much, but Leaf is going to be coming to the rest of his team. Okay, Trent, don't over-push this. Even though your drone saw nothing, I'm not getting contact on B. They haven't committed to the B hit yet. They could be going back and re-clearing spawn. So you see Trent not make the mistake, not overstep.
Breaks it. Fault line, though. Hunter's Fury on top of it, but just doing a bit of friendly fire damage. Trent dodging, weaving, drifting away. It's a wasted ult at that.
It's pulled 3 players over towards A. Is King now going to call a re-hit on B? Tex has taken some space, but he's going to find a Vice wall in his face. It's not bad IGL in here from King. He's created a weak site to hit. Only 2 players home, and King catches the back of Jorg.
Jorgen was back open. As much as the communication has been good, gaps in the planar setup, Jorgen did not know that he was open to it. Still slowed down. There's 25 seconds left here, Josh. And still Leaf trying to be that playmaker. Drifted in and out, up top of tower, just spotting the shoulders. This util flying forwards. Counter spam is ordered. It's Trent and Valen, they're saving the day for him, and LEV pushed to the brink and pushed back entirely. That's a map sealed up here. G2, clinical, dare I say. They haven't slowed down. We had questions at the beginning of this game, Josh. Big questions. Have Leviathan been tested enough? Are G2 really looking like one of the best teams? Or is it just, that one match that we saw? This time a bit of a larger sample size after that.
And absolutely, I would agree that from what we've seen, G2 taking the 2-0 today, Fracture's really the only map where it felt like they were tested. LEV did a good job of testing them at the beginning of that second half, and G2 still took the timeout, still made the adjustments, still had Leaf getting phenomenal value. They look immaculate. There could still be things to tighten up. Josh is talking about it, the perfectionist attitude that they have. They want to nail down every little piece of the puzzle, but they're now 1 win away from being able to qualify to Masters Bangkok. And they've got to be a favorite coming out from Americas to do it.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly right. 1 match is what stands between them and qualifying for our first Masters event of the year. Almost feels early days to say that one because there's plenty of kickoff left to play, but G2 are the real deal.
They've definitely showcased that. And I feel a bit